It's 8 p.m. and here are our top stories in 90 seconds.
I have a degree, I have a career, I can save a person's life. I guess I just was the perfect victim.
Scammed out of $14,000. This Colorado woman shares her story to help other potential victims.
So they literally left me with nothing. Not enough to pay my bills this month, not enough for anything.
New guidance today calls for universal masking in schools.
I think we're still waiting to hear what the final policies will be.
Tonight, we hear from several Front Range school districts on what they plan for the upcoming school year.
What are they thinking? Where are they leaning? We want to know that.
And these decisions come as new COVID infections hit about 30,000 per day in the U.S.
Virtually all hospitalizations and deaths are occurring among unvaccinated Americans. These tragedies are avoidable.
Plus, CDOT meets with concerned neighbors who say Central 70 construction is impacting their livelihood.
Everybody complains about the same thing, about the dust.
And Aurora's police chief takes center stage at City Council to discuss a surge in youth gun violence. Good Monday evening, and thank you for watching Denver7 News on Local 3. I'm Jessica Porter. Well, it can be easy to think you will never fall victim to a scam. That is what a Colorado single mother had thought until she was scammed out of $14,000. She contacted Denver7 to share her story. Here is Denver7's Addie Guajardo.
You're so shitty.
This little 3-year-old, Amelia,
I will tickle you.
is a driving force for Angelica Ortiz, a single mother.
Yes, one and only.
And nurse.
I have a degree, I have a career, I can save a person's life. I guess I just was the perfect victim.
The perfect victim for a scam.
You need to immediately call the investigation officer.
That swindled her out of her life savings.
$14,000 that I'm never going to see again.
She's bravely sharing her story so others don't fall victim too.
They literally left me with nothing. Not enough to pay my bills this month, not enough for anything.
The caller posed as an IRS agent and told her identity was compromised. She was then transferred to an alleged DEA agent who informed her she was connected to a serious crime in Texas.
$1.5 million worth of money laundering and drug trafficking, and they said they found kilos of cocaine and that they were going to come search my house.
They provided badge numbers and assured her they wanted to help by securing her money before the government froze her bank accounts, then instructed her to withdraw $12,500 in cash and max out her credit cards to purchase gift cards.
I was just panicking, and they just got me. They got me. If I had a question, they had an answer.
Each year, hundreds of similar fraudulent cases are reported to the North Glen Police Department.
Unfortunately, very common.
Detective Terry Hudak works in the Financial Crimes Department. She says these scammers use fear as a tactic. The red flag she spotted in this case: no government agency will reveal vital details about their investigation over the phone, ask you to stay on the phone for hours, or purchase gift cards.
The reason that they use gift cards is they can easily be transferred from person to person, and eventually the funds become untraceable.
How many might see their money back?
Maybe 5. It's heartbreaking.
That's out of hundreds of cases annually. Her advice: if you get a similar call, take down their information, hang up, and call police. Little Amelia is battling LCH, a cancer that affects the skin and bones. Money in this envelope was intended to cover necessary expenses and emergency care for her daughter.
That's taken me my entire life to save that money.
Addie Guajardo, Denver7.
Addie, thank you. There is a GoFundMe page now up to help Angelica with her losses. We have a link to that on the denverchannel.com. If you have something you would like us to investigate, please don't hesitate to reach out to contact Denver7. Leave us a voicemail at the number on your screen or email us at contact7@thedenverchannel.com. Fears over the spread of the Delta variant sent stocks falling more than 700 points today at the closing bell. This was the biggest one-day drop for the Dow Jones since October of 2020. Case numbers are going in the wrong direction for almost every state in the country. This map shows where states are seeing increasing case numbers. The only two states not seeing an increase, Wyoming and South Dakota. And the CDC shared this map today showing where the virus is spreading the fastest. The areas in red are where community spread is high. Those areas are also the ones with the lowest vaccination rates. New guidance from the American Academy of Pediatrics today called for schools to enforce universal mask mandates because so many kids won't be protected by fall. Parents are understandably concerned with classes starting in just a few weeks. Denver7's Ivan Rodriguez has an in-depth look at what Front Range districts are doing.
After summer break, getting kids ready to return to school can always bring its share of stress.
I think the thing that scares me probably the most, especially as a parent, is that schools are starting soon.
This year, there's the added stress of a pandemic that just doesn't want to go away.
It's nerve-wracking.
Denver7 reached out to 7 school districts across the Denver metro area. The general consensus when it comes to mask wearing is that they too are still waiting for guidance from health officials before they share any information with parents. Douglas County has already said it won't require masks for students and staff. The Boulder Valley School District says masks will likely not be mandatory.
What are they thinking? Where are they leaning? We want to know that.
We spoke with 2 mothers who have children attending Jeffco public schools. Both have different perspectives on what the return to school should look like.
I do hope that, Jeffco and DPS and the other schools will follow suit and follow what the CDC has recommended, which is if you're under 12 years of age or if your students are unvaccinated, they should be masking at school.
Lacey Rosales feels her son has struggled with speech when schools implemented mask requirements.
He's having issues articulating and enunciating his words now, and we're starting to see it now after school's over.
Dr. Richard Zane with UC Health insists the best way to combat COVID-19 and the Delta variants is through vaccination.
The Delta variant is a disease of the unvaccinated, and the unvaccinated are children under the age of 12. Those that for some reason decline to be vaccinated, and then people who don't have a vaccine response.
He says the more people 12 and older get vaccinated, the fewer people under 12 will get infected.
It is not just an obligation to your own personal health, but it's a societal obligation.
This conversation comes at a time when the Delta variant now makes up more than 75% of all COVID cases. For parents, regardless of the stance schools take, the sooner some kind of decision is reached, the better.
If my kid wants to go with a mask one day because his buddy's wearing a mask and that they have matching masks, then go ahead, wear a mask. If somebody's not comfortable with it and they want their kid to wear a mask, let them wear a mask.
Ivan Rodriguez, Denver7.
The guidance for each school district will likely change over the next few weeks, but we have the latest update from several metro area school districts right now on the denverchannel.com. Well, tonight, residents of Denver's Globeville and Elyria-Swansea neighborhoods met virtually with CDOT representatives about dust from the Central 70 project. Dust and debris from construction has forced some businesses to temporarily close their doors. Residents say they are doing their best to avoid being outside. Tonight, representatives with the construction company said they will do their best to reimburse impacted people.
We always let them know if their cars are covered with dust, we can offer them more than 1 voucher. I know that some businesses, we've given them up to 5. And then we've also told the businesses that once viaduct demolition is over, we're going to try to power wash the outside of the building as a way to kind of address that concern.
And CDOT says they have given ample warning about the dust and noise from construction. Right now, Aurora Police Chief Vanessa Wilson is briefing Mayor Michael Kaufman and city leaders on what her department is doing to stop violence in the city. Chief Wilson says the increase in crime could be from a number of things, including illegal guns, violence being normalized throughout society, and the pandemic. She also says her department has lost 159 officers since January 2020. 72 of those have occurred in 2021 alone. We'll have more from the meeting tonight on Denver7 News at 10. It's both fitting and upsetting that this conversation is happening tonight. 9 years ago, a deranged man walked into an Aurora movie theater and took the lives of A.J. Boyk, Jonathan Blunk, Jesse Childress, Gordon Cowden, John Larimer, Michaela Medic, Matt McQuinn, Jessica Gowie, Veronica Sullivan, Alex Teves, and Rebecca Wingo. A vigil will be held in their memory at 11:45 tonight. It will also be streamed on Facebook.
There's really not any solid help.
Denver's unhoused community says they're being swept aside with no concrete help to get them back on their feet.
And they say, you got to go, and you have to go then. You don't get a chance to grab your belongings.
We have details of a new report showing alarming numbers of just how many people are finding their way into housing after a camp sweep. The Front Range is covered in a layer of haze, and it's not going away.
Plenty of haze and smoke out there. I'll let you know if there's any cleansing showers in the forecast.
And coming up later, time is running out for millions of Americans facing eviction at the end of this month.
There's an axe just lowering over your head, and your head is about to get cut off.